My family treated me like a failure for years, until they found out I was a billionaire. I was the disappointment in my family long before anyone knew how rich I was. Not the loud kind of disappointment, the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't cause arguments, the kind people accept and then move past. At family gatherings, no one ever asked me for advice. They asked about me, but never to me. "So, what are you doing these days?" And when I answered, their eyes glazed over politely, like they were waiting for someone more important to speak. My cousins were successful: doctors, lawyers, executives. My sister had a title people respected. My uncles talked about investments and real estate like it was a language I wasn't allowed to speak. I learned how to nod, how to smile, how to stay quiet. I became invisible without ever leaving the room. Years earlier, in my early 20s, I'd worked a job no one in my family thought mattered. Data entry, spreadsheets, long days staring at numbers that didn't belong to me. One afternoon, my manager called me into his office and offered me something strange. He said I could take part of my bonus as stock options instead of cash. I didn't understand investing. I didn't follow markets. But I didn't want to look clueless, so I said yes. The company name meant nothing to me. The paperwork felt forgettable. I signed, filed it away, and moved on with my life. New job, new apartment, new email address. Over time, the memory faded completely. I forgot the investment existed. The years passed. My family's opinion of me didn't change. At one Thanksgiving, my uncle clapped me on the shoulder and said, "You're the creative one," which I learned meant, don't ask him about money. Everyone laughed. I laughed too. It was easier that way. Then my father died. Not suddenly, but fast enough to leave confusion behind. Someone had to go through the paperwork. No one volunteered. So I did. Boxes of documents, old tax forms, bank statements no one cared about. That's when I found the envelope. Thin, yellowed, almost thrown away. Inside was a brokerage statement. Inactive, no recent activity. I almost ignored it. Then I saw the numbers. My brain refused to accept them. Too many commas, too many digits. I assumed it was a mistake. I called the number. The voice on the other end went quiet when I gave my name. They asked me to verify my identity, again and again. Then they said something I'll never forget. "Sir, are you sitting down?" They explained how the investment had grown, split, merged, been acquired, how it had compounded quietly for more than a decade. When they told me the total, I laughed. Not because it was funny, because my mind couldn't process it. I was a billionaire. I sat on the floor for a long time after that. Not crying, not celebrating, just staring. I thought about every moment I'd felt small, every joke at my expense, every conversation where I wasn't included. And suddenly, I could breathe. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like I had to prove anything. Something strange happened after that. I started standing straighter. Not because I was rich, but because I knew something no one else did. When people looked at me, I could finally look back. At the next family dinner, everything felt the same, until it didn't. My sister complained about work, my uncle talked investments. Then someone asked me a question. Not a polite one, a real one. "What do you think?" I answered, and everyone listened. The truth came out shortly after. A lawyer meeting, paperwork, numbers spoken out loud. The room changed. It was immediate. The same people who barely acknowledged me before suddenly leaned in. My jokes started landing, even the bad ones. They laughed harder, longer. My opinions suddenly mattered. My silence, once ignored, now felt intentional. The unsettling part wasn't the attention. It was how natural it felt to them. As if this was always how they could have treated me. They just chose not to. People started calling, asking for advice, for favors, for just a quick thought. They wanted to be close to me now. Not because I had changed, but because my numbers had. One night, I caught myself demanding respect with my eyes alone. Not aggressively, just confidently. And I realized something. I didn't need to demand it anymore. They were already giving it.
freely. But something about it felt hollow. Because respect given after money arrives doesn't feel like respect. It feels like recognition of value, not character. The final realization came quietly. That investment succeeded because I forgot about it. I didn't obsess, I didn't interfere, I didn't try to look smart. It grew on its own. And so did I. Now when people ask what I do, I still say, I'm between things. Because the money didn't make me taller. It just made the room lower its voice. And I will never forget who couldn't hear me until the numbers spoke first. The money didn't change me. It just taught everyone else how much I'd been worth all along.